It is Friday, guys, and while PSA is coming back into the fold in a big way here soon, what about SGC and BGS secondary sales? Let's talk about this. Hello to all my sports card collector, investor, all of my collectibles friends out there. How is everybody doing? We have made it to Friday, TGIF. I'm excited. I'm going with my kids tonight to go see the new Ghostbusters movie, Ghostbusters Afterlife, a little shock of nostalgia. I am ready for it. I am all set for it. Between that and 8-Bit Christmas coming out here in a couple weeks, I'm in good shape. I am in really good shape for all my 80s, 90s nostalgia stuff. All right, guys, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, the like button if you like what you hear, and then also a tappity tap on the notification bell so that you are notified every time we come out with a new video, which is pretty often. We talk a lot about sports cards with a little bit of a finance twist to it. All right, guys, the big news here recently is that PSA is coming back. From what we've heard anyway, regular service is coming. We don't know how much it's going to cost, but the one thing that we do know, unless they price it at $149 while Express is $150, if it's around whatever, $100, $75, even if it's $110, I still think it means an increase in submissions to PSA. What does it mean, though, for already existing SGC, BGS, and CSG holders as well? The thing that I'm watching very closely is with everybody shifting their eyes, shifting their focus towards PSA and PSA graded only type stuff. What I am looking for are where are the SGC 10s, maybe even the SGC 95s and the BGS 95s, as well as BGS 9s, frankly, depending on the card, even 8.5s, depending on the card. And then also CSG is kind of that outsider that's looking to get in with all of the big boys and looking to play, looking to get in the mix. They just aren't talked about really enough, I don't think. They're a part of CGC, which is a huge grading company for comic books, and they are very reputable. They're just new on the sports card scene, but as far as the actual grading is concerned, I have a lot of confidence in their actual grading. And so just like always, of course, with me, it's a focus on scarcity and then players that I'm really interested in. And another thing, too, shifting back to players, you know, I've talked on the channel, I do collect a lot of Tom Brady type stuff, whether it be inserts or rookie cards or whatever. He's kind of my choice of GOAT, if you will. But one thing I've been thinking about, though, is, you know, there's been such a move away from a lot of modern NBA. NFL stuff is what it is with injuries and everything. And I don't really collect baseball, but I'm really looking back at some of those kind of modern young NBA players that I really like and just checking on prices for those guys that I believe in, that I believe are going to be superstars in the league, or frankly are already superstars in the league, but maybe they haven't won, you know, a title yet or an MVP yet. And I'm paying close attention, you know, to those cards, because if there is just a massive, you know, influx or just less of an interest in cards in general, a lot of the cards I was looking at for the same players that I liked 3 months, 6 months ago, a year ago, that I still like, what's happening now? What are we seeing? Well, we're seeing a lot of the pricing for that stuff is coming down. And I'm not looking at necessarily base rookie cards, but what I am looking at are parallels for those particular players. What do they look like? You know, what's the current, you know, temperature on those particular cards? Because, and I would say to you all as well, go back and look at some of this stuff, because what happened during kind of this last 2-year boom time is you saw everything kind of get out of like priced out. We're priced out of everything. Well, what's happening, though, with a lot of cards is now they're coming back down to where it's like, okay, this is actually a price point that I feel really good about. And I'm seeing that for myself. The other thing that I'm looking at, too, that I'm paying close attention to, and if you watch my channel, you know that I collect a lot of, you know, patch autos for Hall of Famers, you know, for, you know, great NFL greats or NBA greats. I like those kind of, you know, the 8-year patch auto card that's really cool. That's not necessarily Jordan or Kobe or LeBron. Maybe it's Durant, or maybe it's any of these other guys, you know, but the point is that I like those patch autos. And so what I've been looking at, though, is for some of these newer up and coming players that I'm speculating on that I think, okay, they're stars, but can they get to that next level? There will be a day when there's not a LeBron and a Kevin Durant and a Steph Curry running the show. In a few years, frankly, a lot of these guys, I assume, those three in particular are going to start to slow down to some degree, or they might be out of the league. We just don't know. We don't know. Injuries can happen, especially with these players that are in their 30s. Injuries can happen in a hurry, can derail a career in a hurry. It can just happen. And so who are those next guys in line? I've been looking at that. And while, look, I'm not putting a lot of my card money into these particular guys, I don't mind putting picking little spots here and there that make sense. And again, for a lot of those players, because there has been such an emphasis move towards safety, more towards the LeBron James, the Kobe, the Michael Jordans of the world. Now, when you look back at some of the, more speculative type people, you are seeing that pricing has come down quite a bit on a lot of them. And so that's where I think this could be kind of a fun time. It's already kind of a dark period anyway, because we're coming up on holiday season. This is usually kind of a dark period for cards, for buying cards in general. And then you do have a lot of, subsets of cards, different parts of the market that are down anyway. There could be some really good opportunities. I always feel like that there are some opportunities here and there, no matter what you're collecting, whatever you're buying. And so it's an interesting time. I'd like to hear from you all. Are you looking back at some of these modern NBA players, some of these young guys? Maybe they're 26 and under, haven't won a title yet, but they're, you feel good about them. The other thing too is with such an emphasis on kind of the memorabilia side with patches and autos, I've been looking back too at some of these newer players. What do their rookies cost with an auto on it, or a patch or whatever it is? And interestingly enough, there are what I've found to be some fairly good value for rookie cards that are auto rookie cards. Now, it's not necessarily the exquisite rookie patch auto. It's not going to be the highest end of the market, but other sets, whether it be Revolution and even with Prism, Prism being a very popular set in basketball, just regular kind of old, auto Prism auto rookie cards. It's interesting. There's some interesting stuff out there that I'm noticing, and I just wonder moving forward with kind of collectors, what is the collector taste going to look like moving forward with all the different parallels of a rookie card? And what I mean by that is, when you look at even going back to 2015, 16, 14 Prism, which is far less printed for what we believe, short printed compared to 18, 19, 20 Prism for basketball, for example. There's still quite a bit of parallel, different colors, different colors of the rainbow that are represented. And so what I'm wondering is in the future, will there be more of an emphasis on, okay, this is an auto rookie of this particular player, so it gets some more clout, and then check out the price points. What I've been doing is looking at the price points of what does the auto rookie card look like in comparison to, the different colors, the different parallels, what does that look like? With everything, whether it be traditional investments or cryptocurrencies or alternative investments like sports cards, comic books, whatever, the best time to buy typically is always when people are out, when it's like, cards are dead. There's no more cards. There's no more comic books. There's no more this or that. I was looking at a graph for just cryptocurrencies in general, and it was going back. I don't have the years, I don't have all the years, but it was basically like 2017 to 2019 or something. It was a fairly dead period for cryptocurrency. If you're just looking at kind of at a whole and where it is today, you're talking about people that were really sitting on that stuff for 2-3 years. And then we've seen kind of a parabolic rise with a lot of alternative investments. Well, just everything in general since the end of 2019 as we got into 2020 and here we are. But I think that's just kind of interesting, as things do drop down, and you'll hear the comment of like, don't try to catch the falling knife, and then you'll hear dollar cost averaging, if you've bought high, well, if you still like it, you have these lower price points, and we're seeing opportunities there. If you do believe in kind of that dollar cost averaging, and of course it's always for me, it's been a wake up call, big emphasis on scarcity here, because when we're looking at all the graded cards and all the different parallels, there's got to be some sort of a focus on the scarcity element to some degree. At least that's the way I'm looking at it. So guys, I just wanted to put some thoughts together on this Friday. A little bit jumbled, but I think kind of where I was going with it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you having similar vibes? Are you completely out on cards and collectibles in general? Are you like, what? Nah, I'm just sticking to my traditional stuff, my traditional investment stuff. I like that. Let me know your thoughts. I'd like to hear it. Have an amazing weekend ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.